Hi, welcome to the Mohua Show. My name is Mohua Chinappa and I am an author, entrepreneur, and ex-housewife. This podcast is about everything from business to technology to arts to lifestyle, but done and spoken ईमानदारी से. So, hi, in today's episode, we have with us Sheetal Jain, the co founder and CEO of LeRemitt. You have a very, very impressive track record spanning over 2 decades in the financial sector. And you bring a wealth of experience and expertise from corporate lending to pioneering a data as a service platform at Probe 42 and leading sales at Sciency Technologies. Your journey is nothing short of remarkable, Sheetal. And now, as a driving force behind LeRemitt, you are on your way to revolutionize the way MSMEs navigate in the challenge of international trade. And this is extremely close to my heart because, I just feel that MSMEs in India really need somebody to hold them and empower them, because there are so many people who are not articulate when it comes to technology, when it comes to language barriers. So I think what you're doing is amazing. So let's just start, with the first question that comes to my head is that your journey in the financial sector has been diverse from corporate lending, to data as a service platform. What inspired you to venture into the world of fintech? And what has been your background like, Sheetal? And just tell us a little bit about your vision for LeRemitt.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mohua. First of all, thanks for having me here. So my journey started long ago. It's been 24 years. In the BFSI space itself. Started, as you said, in the corporate lending and moved into research, both buy side and sell side research. And moving into fintech was, I would say, a chance when fintech was not even a word. Nobody used to talk about that there is a word called fintech per se. What we started was that okay, research can that be provided on a platform to the industry, whether it is investment or it is lending, and a tech platform was used which was to deliver data as a service to a lender, and which eventually became that okay that got and over the years I started to hear the word fintech, that okay how the industry is now gearing up to use technology in the financing world itself. And that's when I realized okay, we are part of the ecosystem of fintech now. It is, which was earlier, so I would say it was fintech entry, and I would say most of the people fintech entry is a chance entry, especially people who have been working in the space. It was one way of working, and then technology being started to become the lead, and we saw different kind of business models emerge there. So that has been the journey of moving into the fintech. And on coming on to your question on LeRemitt per se. So when I was into data, I've been into data through my life itself, so uh, looking at the data, whether in the form of spreadsheets, in the form of PDF reports, or on the screen, on a platform, or analyzing information has been part of my life. And I used to wonder when I used to look at the company information per se, the entire ecosystem. India has 63 million entities. But number of entities that have turnover more than 50 crore, your guess, how much would they be?
I'm not too
Just take
sure.
a
You have
random
to tell
guess.
us.
Just take a random guess. Just take a random guess. I mean, 63 million entities in India we talk of, which is a mix of companies and sole props and partnerships, whatever.
At least
Barely
163
60,000.
million more.
No,
Double,
it's
I'm sure.
60,000. It's just 60,000 companies that have turnover more than 50 crore. So can you imagine the world of MSMEs out there? And MSMEs by the terminology, it's companies more up to 250 crore. So you haven't really increased the circle over there, right? So just the companies that have turnover more than 50 crore is just 60,000. So the question was always in my mind that why are we not able to produce larger companies? Why not Indian companies are large enough in and why we don't have multi-million dollar companies, etc. So those were the questions always nagging my head, and I started to figure out that what are the challenges that this term MSMEs, the SMEs face, micro small companies, why we are not able to reach those kind of a larger numbers. And that's where this journey started many years ago. That okay, the challenge. That's when I started to figure out the challenges that they face, when it comes to whether it was to take any kind of license, whether it is to take any kind of permissions, or to set up any kind of business, or to talking about export was much later. I mean, this was all about initially about just the challenges that they face in the financing world itself. There was only collateralized lending for them. There was no other way of getting them financing itself. So, as I joke quite often, that loans are given to people who don't need it. And I receive
Well,
like
that's
probably three
quite a
to four
statement to
calls a day.
make.
Yeah.
Sheetal.
Yeah, so it's I get 3 to 4 calls a day from various parties that loan le lo up. But actually, when it comes to and that's where the change started to happen, and that's where the change has happened over the last 5 6 years. You have seen immense change. The fintech industry has actually done phenomenally well over there, reaching the unbanked, reaching the people who need more funding, whether it was retail or it was the MSME segment itself. That's when the change started to happen. So people like us who were there in the industry, I think everybody questioned the same thing, not just me. I guess everyone questioned the similar thing, that how do we reach out to the next layer of either retail customers or to the MSME segment itself, and which then the push started to come a lot from the government side as well. And LeRemitt per se was, a segment which me and my co-founder, both, he has been working in this space for many years. Me coming with the data, and so we used to we he was my customer in one of the banks. So we used to often talk about how do we use data to actually streamline the data through APIs to streamline the processes, and how do we make their life simpler for them so that it can be technology driven solutions for them, because their requirements are very different from large corporates or very different from the retail world itself. So how do we streamline the process for them? How do we make it more technology driven? And that's how we joined hands, and international trade per se became, and MSMEs was my core, and international trade was his core. We joined the hands together, and LeRemitt was born. That was the thought process.
Tell us a little bit about, the international trade that a lot of MSMEs face, and you've been in this business for very long. So what are the kind of typical challenges that they have?
So in international trade, if you see that, typical, the entire system is very, I should say, very fragment, very opaque. If I just talk about payment systems first, uh, the solution for them is to go. Banks have been serving them for years. Phenomenal job. That's what has been happening. However, as we have moved, currency market, unlike other markets, is very opaque in nature, because you don't know what the rates behind are. You don't know what are the how the forex spreads work. People don't even know how international payments work. People don't know what are the costs behind the entire international payments. They have other challenges with respect to, because they have multiple challenge when it comes to logistics. We have all digitizations happening now over the last 3 4 years, that
Yes.
you see that various aspects of international trade have been picked up and they have been worked on. But if you talk about just payments, they have been and for see, their payments are, their remittances are very low value, but maybe volume could be lower or higher, but value is always lower. So so it becomes a high cost for the bank as well, right? For an MSME going for a very small payment for them. So it becomes, whereas again it is not. So when you create a solution for a specific segment, you take care of his specific needs. So which is where those challenges, when we saw the challenge that he's meeting those, he has challenges on paperwork, he has challenges on on
Wow.
opaqueness in the system. He doesn't understand how does it work. So all these challenges came up that okay, we need to solve for him. And his problem, his remittances are very small. For that, he has to go through a lot. He has to go through multiple to's and fro's on making the same payments itself, and overall itself. From, if you talk about international trade challenges itself, there are multiple. First of all, buyer seller meet is a problem. How do you identify the buyer? How do you make sure that the buyer is going to pay you? How do you make sure that your logistics are in place? How do you make sure that you have got all your custom clearances done? How do you make sure that you are working with that the payments come in on time? How do you make sure that you have got the payment itself? There are multiple challenges towards that. And yeah, I mean, there has been a lot of work getting into the space by multiple players now, and it is, yeah, it is. And with government push, of course, a lot of things are getting sorted now.
So, Sheetal, you know what, given your background in corporate lending and financial research, you know, how important is data analytics in shaping the solutions that your
Oh,
company, LeRemitt, offers, you know, to MSMEs?
oh, a lot. First of all, you need to understand your customer in and out. MSMEs is a challenging segment, which is why there have been challenges for them. It has not been uh, the way. See, in a world of listed entities, data is very clean and clear out. They report, everything is out there, right? For the other entities, data, when it comes in, MSME came into play in 2000, MCA came into play in 2006. We do get company data on MCA, but sole prop data, partnership data is it was not digitized for a long period of time, right? So now, if you don't have digitized data, first of all, digitization of data happened over time. Now you see that data is, but how do you start to make sense of that data now? How do you create a straight through process for him unless you understand the data? How do you understand? How do you make sure that your system that you are able to build as a fintech, and considering that RBI is, the way we see the signals, the regulatory compliances are extremely important in this space, not just, from the RBI perspective, but being cross-border trade itself, the regulatory compliances are extremely, extremely important. So how do you make sure that your algorithms are very strong when you're looking at MSME data itself? So how do you build that bank grade due diligence systems itself? So in this, unless you understand the data, unless you're able to actually build out various connects in the data on MSMEs, it will be challenging to digitize this space itself. It will be challenging. So it's important for someone, whoever is in this space, to understand and build that kind of due diligence systems.
Also, to make it user friendly, you know, how do you you know, get out of that challenge? Because I'm sure with MSMEs they must be struggling to make this user friendly for them to be able to, you know, reap the benefits. So how do you go about that, Sheetal?
So it's all about, see, it's not that they have not been sending their payments out, or it's not that they have not been receiving their payments, but can you make their journey easier for them? Swiggy came into play and make it easier for you to just order online, right? So you were going and eating in restaurants before also. You were calling the restaurant before as well and saying, okay, can you send me some food? And he would send it in some time. You would look at his menu. Right now, the ease of you is, okay, just open your one app and you're able to look at, okay, what do I feel like eating today? I feel like eating pizza today. Okay, these are the 10 options in front of you. Okay, this one looks like in my cost, I'm going to just, so it's the ease that happened to you, right? You could, and with India Stack coming in, of course, that payments became easier for him. So the entire flow became easier for you to do. I'm just giving you a small example of Swiggy, right? So similarly, UPI when came in, made it easier for you to do the domestic payments. International payments, while it has been eased out for retail customers, MSMEs, by nature of cross border, by nature of money laundering, it is not so simple to just say, okay, I'll do UPI payment. It's not possible to do that. So there are multiple aspects to what we need to address when we are saying that, okay, we are easing out the entire process. So we need to make sure that while easing the entire process for them, we make sure that their regulatory compliances are met. It is the system is built so that it's extremely transparent to them, so they are able to see the entire traceability of their funds, or whether they are able to see that how the international payments are working for him. So this is all about making sure that the journey of a customer on the platform is eased out with respect to his entire journey of onboarding or payments or any other service we bring out together to later for him. Earlier it was always a fear about whether my payment is going to come in, that he's the right buyer or not. So can I ease out the entire process for him is the key element to the platform.
How amazing. And this, you speak to my heart, because I think in India, entrepreneurship is just on the rise, and everybody is wanting to start a business of their own, and there's a certain culture right now. So I think with with LeRemitt, uh, people will know where to get in touch. So also being in this sector, there would be a whole lot of principles that you need to have within yourself, and in managing, you're actually managing somebody's future, and you're taking care of something that they've invested their entire probably their energy, their money, and all of it. What are those principles as a CEO that you have take into your business, Sheetal?
So its primary principle, I would say, is the trust factor, and simplify the whole process for them, and make sure that it is extremely transparent for them onto what we are saying and what we are doing. Customer centricity, customer obsession has been my core since I think since I started. So it was all about customer. So today it's all about MSME customer for me. Am I making his life simpler? Am I giving him a transparent platform? Am I giving him in a secure and extremely trusted manner or not? He should come back and say, yeah, my life has been simplified. At least one aspect of it I don't have to worry about. So those are the principles for me when I'm building this platform, and I would say those are the same value systems that I apply even in the organization today. It is extremely uh, when we talk to our the teams, it's all about customer obsession. Think about features that are customer centric. Think about that, he's going to bring a lot of trust onto your system. So make sure that every information is out there on the platform. Customer wants to talk to me, just reach out and talk to me. You're facing any kind of issue, I'm all out there. I'm there for you. Just to make sure that you feel comfortable on the platform. So those are the key elements, those are the key principles on which that we are building our platform and our company as well.
How amazing, Sheetal. But apart from all of this, Sheetal, you are also a runner. And I
Yes.
think it would be interesting to know, how is it that you kind of, navigate both these things, with the new business, and, starting your own thing and also doing your runs. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, it's very interesting that you bring this question, because I see a lot of similarities in running and starting up as well. It's the same gamut. It's both of them are for long haul, and marathon. It's nothing, just putting one foot in front of the other. You start off. You have to start off from somewhere. You will start to walk first, then you will start to slowly jog, and then you start to add your distance, then you start to increase your speed, then you start to somewhere manage, look at your gait, you look at your cadence, you look at how much distance I'm doing today. So what are you doing in all this? You're just putting one goal in front of you, achieving that, and then slowly, once you have achieved that, you go and put up one more goal for yourself. I remember when I first ran my 5K, I started running almost like 12, 13 years ago. And when I did my first 5K, it was like, wow, I can't believe what I have achieved. That sense of achievement was just immense, right? And and what has got me here is just pure consistency. And I say this to my team as well, that it's fitness is all about consistency. Just put your small goals in front of you, be consistent to achieve it, and just continue to work towards it. You will have good days, you will have your bad days. But how do you make sure that you're consistent on it? And it's the same thing in entrepreneurship. Absolutely the same thing. Just put one step in front of the other. You will start to learn. And put small goals out there in front of you and start to achieve and celebrate those one, and you will look back and you say, oh, remember our first customer, remember, this is how we achieved it, this is what we did, this was our first office. You will remember those. These are your all your first. You just be consistent. It's just continue your journey, put your head down and just think about your goal, and just be there. Just work on it. That's it. There is no other way out. Entrepreneurship is all about taking small goals at a time and working towards it.
So the last question, Sheetal, is this: that what is your aspirations, for LeRemitt, and how do you see the platform contributing to the broader landscape of international trade and MSME empowerment in India?
So, Mohua, it is my aspirations for LeRemitt are definitely that every party that is part of today international trade buyer seller is part of my platform in some way or the other, in some service or the other. He's utilizing LeRemitt in future. That's the aspiration of LeRemitt, honestly. And so because it's, yes, we have started with payment systems, probably that was the first goal that we put out for ourselves. And as we continue to launch various services, it would be for some customers they could be using payment system, for some customers they could be using some other services of ours as we continue to launch. So that's the idea. And yeah, there is a lot more. I would like to touch on various services that can empower the MSMEs, especially in the international trade stuff. Using technology, how do we make sure that all of them are either through us or through our partners, that there is one platform that they can look up to whenever they think of international trade. That's what I see this as.
How amazing, Sheetal. And Sheetal, if people are to get in touch with LeRemitt, what and how would they go about it?
We have a website, www.leremitt.com, and our connect numbers are very much there. Phone numbers, our email IDs, everything is there. I'm on LinkedIn. You can look me up at Jain Sheetal, and I'm there. You can reach out to me directly, or you could just come out to the website and reach out to any of the numbers.
Thank you so much for being on today's podcast, and it was a pleasure having you. And I'm sure a whole lot of people will get in touch with you post this, and I wish you all the best in all your future endeavors.
Thank you so much. Thanks. It would be a pleasure.
To you, our dearest listeners, you can find us on your favorite streaming services, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, and of course on all other major streaming services. With loads of love, we are The Mohua Show, where we talk ईमानदारी से.